Mass shootings like the one in Louisville on Monday do get a lot of media coverage, and perhaps that's understandable. They are horrifying, and in a lot of cases, attention might be the point. But what about other kinds of gun violence, the kind you might hear about on the local news or from your neighbors? How pervasive is that, and how does that kind of violence affect us? Those are the questions answered in a new poll out this morning from KFF. That's a nonprofit focused on healthcare research. NPR health policy correspondent Selena Simmons-Duffin is here with us now to tell us more. Good morning, Selena. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Michelle.
It's amazing to see answers to some questions that have probably been on a lot of our minds, given what's happening in the news right now. So what did the researchers find?
Well, they found that many Americans have had personal experiences with gun violence. So 1 in 5 have had a family member killed by a gun. 1 in 5 have been threatened with a gun, and nearly as many have personally witnessed a shooting. Here's Ashley Kurzinger from KFF, who worked on this survey of more than 1,200 people.
You put it all together, and it's like more than half. So a majority of adults in this country have either personally experienced or had a family member experience one of these incidences of gun violence.
She says that translates to a lot of stress, especially in certain groups. A third of both Black and Hispanic adults say they worry either every day or almost every day about themselves or someone they love being the victim of gun violence. Kurzinger says we're a nation living in fear.
We mentioned that researchers were looking at gun violence apart from mass shootings. Would you just say more about what kinds of things that people are talking about? Because on its face, these numbers seem almost incredible. But when you dig into it, I think what you were telling us is it actually isn't. So tell us a bit more about what they looked at.
Yeah, so Kurzinger told me the majority of gun incidents happen in the home. So those might be domestic violence or accidents or suicides. In fact, she says more than half of the gun deaths in the U.S. are suicides. But it's interesting, the fear of gun violence outside of the home is also affecting where people feel safe going. Here's Kurzinger again.
It's impacting all of our decisions to take public transit, to go out at night, to go to festivals. 1 in 5 parents have either thought about changing where their kid goes to school or have.
Overall, the poll found more than 8 in 10 adults have done at least one thing as a precaution to protect themselves or a loved one from the possibility of gun violence.
Say more about kids. I mean, there was a school shooting just last month in Nashville where 3 kids were killed along with 3 adults. So tell us a bit more about what the poll said about kids and gun violence.
Yeah, fairly recently, firearms became the leading cause of death among kids and teens in this country. In this new poll, only half of people surveyed knew that fact, which is interesting. And another striking finding was that of the parents who have a gun in the home, 6 in 10 store it in the same place as ammunition. A third store it loaded, and a third also keep it unlocked. So some pediatricians do make a point of talking to parents about guns in the home during appointments, but very few, according to the poll, are talking about gun safety. So Kurzinger says that really points to an opportunity. If more doctors would talk to patients about these issues, that could help reduce the number of kids or really anyone in the home from being killed accidentally because a gun was not stored safely.
That is NPR's Selena Simmons-Duffin. Selena, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
If you or someone you know may be considering hurting yourself, may be considering suicide, or is in crisis, please call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.